HITRANS is based in the Highlands of Scotland, with its main offices in Inverness and an additional location in Lairg.
HITRANS is the Highlands and Islands Transport Partnership, which is a statutory regional transport partnership which covers 5 local authorities. We cover the Western Isles, Moray, Orkney, Highland and most of Argyll and Bute. As a team, we work extremely hard with all our member councils, the Scottish Government, Highlands and Islands Enterprise, transport operators and other stakeholders to improve transport services and the infrastructure in the north of Scotland and on routes to the Highlands and Islands.
We consider ourselves very fortunate to be able to live and work in this part of the world. However, the geography of the Highlands and Islands creates challenges for transportation. The area HITRANS covers accounts for 50% of Scotland's total landmass, but only 10% of Scotland's population. This means that there are dispersed settlements throughout the region reliant on good transport networks for connectivity and access to key services.
Hi, my name is Jane Golding and I work as Projects and Policy Officer at HITRANS.
Hi, I'm Rachel Fraser and I oversee the financial and business support functions of the MOVE project. This involves researching businesses and organisations to collaborate with and costing options for running our pilot project. I also have regular communication with our FLC to manage our claims process, and I manage the project's overall budget.
I'm Ali MacDonald. I'm Senior Transport Officer for the Highland Council with responsibility for the public transport network and also community transport groups.
My name is Julie Cromarty and I am the Public Transport Information Officer for HITRANS, and I think I'm pretty lucky. My role is very diverse and interesting. And I suppose as well I also have the opportunity to improve lots of modes of transport within my region. My primary responsibility in partnership with our member councils is to improve all aspects of public transport information, and that would be from on-street information, real-time information and information that we provide to Travel in Scotland. Integral to my role is definitely a project management function, which can see me being involved in delivering infrastructure projects throughout the HITRANS area, tackling individual issues as they arise in respect of transport challenges, and also the numerous European projects that we're now involved in, such as the Interreg North Sea Region MOVE project. HITRANS's role in the MOVE project, in essence, I think we aim to tackle the transport challenges that are faced in rural and semi-rural areas, which can involve challenges specifically with availability, frequency and cost. HITRANS has identified the ever-increasing challenges of rural and semi-rural areas in respect of transport provision, which are a direct result of cutbacks in central, regional and local funding over the years, where transport provision that was available 10 years ago is just no longer there. HITRANS facilitates the joined thinking, creating concepts and implementing various pilot projects to solve these transport challenges. And these are a result of partnership working with HITRANS, our member councils, community councils and groups, the public, transport operators and other stakeholders. To frame these challenges and in partnership with our member councils, transport operators, community councils and stakeholders, implement pilots which offer solutions to these challenges. And when I say solutions, I mean real solutions to the challenges that are presented to people that live and work in rural and semi-rural areas. And this ultimately enhances the health, social and economic well-being of citizens that live within our area. HITRANS being involved in the MOVE project firstly allows us to access more funding for implementing pilot projects, which makes it feasible. But secondly, more importantly, it allows us to share information and knowledge with other partners from the North Sea region area who, although obviously aren't in Scotland, but they have similar challenges and issues that we have here. Almost, I think, for all the partners involved is that it's a learning experience where we can find new and innovative ways to solve common transport challenges that we all have. HITRANS is involved within 3 pilot projects within MOVE. The first one is the Slate pilot project. The other two pilots that we have is the Ferntosh pilot. The third pilot is the eCargo pilot. The Slate pilot project on the Isle of Skye. This is now fully implemented with an EV vehicle running, and it does a combination of a scheduled service, and there's also a demand responsive element as well. And it's a fantastic example of when people have, come together to provide solutions for communities, where people have actually been adaptable and flexible as well with the pilot projects that are implemented.
Yeah, especially during lockdown, it's been quite difficult during the pandemic because we've not been able to take passengers out as much on trips, except out with the lockdown. We've been able to do some trips on request. For example, to take people for vaccinations to the GP surgery and trips like that. Other than that, mainly we've been restricted to doing essential shopping deliveries to people who have no way to get out and about and have no way to have to get their shopping any other way. Most of the big supermarkets around here, for example, don't deliver to our locations here on Skye, so we need to find another way to get their shopping to them.
Well, people are just incredibly grateful. Many people who are self-isolating or just nervous to come out might not even have cars. It's really the only way they feel they can get their groceries. They're also very grateful to the drivers for delivering it. So the shop and all our great volunteers.
The service that we've been able to provide has been really well received by the people who need that shopping, and also I think it's been really good just from a social interaction point of view, enabling the driver to be able to, or myself in particular, to be able to speak to people, find out how they are, exchange a few words whilst doing the shopping deliveries has been, it's been good to be able to do that and to make sure everybody's all right.
Oh, it's wonderful. It means I can get up to the shop and to the doctors. I use it coming up to the doctors so that I can get my flu jab and pick up prescriptions and for appointments, and also before the pandemic I was doing my shopping. Oh, definitely. It's wonderful.
Just move on up.
We're looking to introduce this into the Ferntosh area, which is basically a rural commuter area about 10 to 15 miles north of Inverness. There is a frequent existing bus service that passes through that area, but it is an arterial route, very few bus stops, and it doesn't really serve the remote communities as such. The current bus service is about 2 to 3 services per day. They're very much at non-peak times, and it's extremely uneconomical in how it's being run at the moment. COVID has placed obviously even more pressure on the existing services, and costs to provide these services have more than doubled during this period. What we would look to do with this pilot is to replace the existing scheduled services with a more flexible, efficient and greener service. We've been working with both the Community Council, Community Trust, local authority and existing operators, as well as local businesses and the Community Transport Organisation, to try and co-design a specific service that would not only look to try and provide a scheduled service but also a demand response element. We're looking to introduce scheduled services both in the morning and the afternoon and during peak times, with a demand responsive element between 9:30 and 4:30, which would use a 16-seater Euro 6 vehicle. As after further research, we had looked to try and acquire a suitable EV model to use for the pilot. But with the lead-in times that we've got for these types of vehicle and the impact of COVID, it just wasn't practical within the pilot project time frame. We would hope with the demand responsive element that this will provide a door-to-door service, and that meaning that it would connect into an interchange, which would basically allow people within these remote settlements to access public transport, the existing public transport network that's already on the trunk roads. The service initially will be provided by the mainline operator, but once the new vehicle is available and we're up and running, it's likely that the management of this particular service will be operated by the community transport organisation. We aim to introduce integrated ticketing available and also the use of a smartphone app to replace and supplement the phone booking system that will be used initially. The vehicle will also be available to the local community to offer transport in the evening and weekend through volunteers.
Just move on up.
We've had the idea of e-cargo bike pilots for a while. However, when COVID-19 hit, it became clear there was a need to help deliver goods to vulnerable people and communities in a safe and physically distanced way. Many businesses have had to quickly adapt to delivery services only, with some businesses struggling to do this due to a lack of options, costs, and a variety of other factors. Our aim is to provide a way for these businesses to reach vulnerable customers in the community and also look at what other e-cargo bike uses there could be, such as prescription delivery services. We will shortly be launching in 3 areas within the HITRANS region: Inverness and Highlands, Oban and Argyll and Bute, and a third location in Orkney. Our goal is to work collaboratively with local stakeholders, including bike shops, local authorities, community groups, and engagement with local businesses. We hope from this trial it will encourage more people to consider e-cargo bikes in the future and provide a service that helps communities and promotes sustainable travel.
Thank you for getting to know our team and for hearing about our pilot projects. Bye!